We got South of the Border, West of the Sun. I think that's one of your favorite books, as you've told me.
It's my I don't know. It's weirdly my favorite. Like I told you, the stigma on West of the Border is it's the reviewers don't like it at all. I guess it's too airy for them. I guess if that's the right word to use. I guess I do like the airiness of it, but it's and like I told you, it's the most. I think of all the Murakami, if I'm like my opinion, it's the most grounded of them all. I want to say a lot of the Murakami books are very if you want to say magical or fantasy based, and
Yeah.
this is one of the like rare ones that is grounded and it's like and like one of the biggest things I could say for South of the Border,
Hmm.
it invokes a sense of nostalgia and a sense of nostalgia that I don't have for anything with I'm trying to remember what the main character's name is. Hajime, I may be wrong.
Hajime is right. Yeah.
Hajime, okay,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Something about that story evokes a certain type of nostalgia, and I can't pinpoint it at all. But I think I like it. Like it's a weird thing with it that I like about it,
Hmm.
And but yeah, I wanted to ask you, what are your, your because I just read it for the second time about a month ago, so
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember some more stuff about it. But it's just only thing I could kind of say right now that I do feel from it is like a sense of nostalgia and like
Hmm.
groundedness and just airiness from it. So yeah, I wanted to see know about your thoughts and your ideas about it.
Yeah. So I just read it last week for the third time, I guess. So the
Right.
first time I read it was in 2019, and way back then I had some sort of sensitive feeling about this book. So I don't know. It started off as a study about a real asshole guy, to keep it to say it
Yeah,
frankly.
absolutely, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but as the story evolves and he gets older, you start getting a connection to his thoughts, which are somehow very grounded and humane. Because sometimes we do things that we don't want to do, but we do. And the more you spend time with him, the more you understand him. So maybe we could do a little breakdown on the story. Story starts in the 80s, I guess. No, not in the 80s. In 51, this girl, Shimamoto, which is his
Hear me?
best friend, they have some sort of odd friendship, I think. So they share the same passions like music, books, spend a lot of time with each other. But the main or the strange thing he is attracted to is that she has a small handicap.
Her, if I'm remembering, her one of her legs was longer than the other. It might have been something like that, if I recall.
Yeah. And I got the feeling that he has some sort of fetish out of it because he keeps watching women with the same handicap. So this was very, very strange. And
Right, exactly.
so the story starts with their friendship, and somehow they lose connection because he moves, I guess. And then he gets into a relationship with a very shy girl, I guess, and hurts her in a very, very, let's say, dirty way. And then he introduces us to some more relationships he has. So, and he always hurts people because all he thinks about is his own well-being and his own feelings without getting into their feelings, I guess. So this is this is the first thing that attracted me because you get a character that you don't really like, but he is the main character, and the story is told from his own perspective. So you get caught into some sort of double standard because somehow you care for this guy and then still you don't.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I had the same feeling. That's probably it. I don't want to outwardly say like, oh, I feel myself as Hajime right there.
Yeah.
But like a lot of his characteristics, like I can identify with, or I could sit there and be like, I see why he's like that. But there's a lot of I won't say instability, but
Hmm.
he doesn't attach himself to one thing, and it's very like there's no roots, with him. There is no you can speak to him and ask him a question about anything, or he would give you like a definite answer, and
Hmm.
it's always like a mystery with him, is what it seems like. And you could be talking to him and you could look right in his eyes and he's a million miles away.
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like, growing up, that my grandmother would tell me. She's especially if I, was doing something I shouldn't have been doing and I get called out for it. And I'm looking at her when I'm, getting reprimanded for getting in trouble. And I'm looking at her and my eyes are, I'm thinking about the next thing I'm doing, and that's what I got from Hajime, coming to, relate to him or to, see what he's about. It's kind of difficult. It's difficult.
When as the story evolves, we get some developments because finally he marries. He makes real intimate connections this time. So he gets married and he enjoys this life. And his wife has a rich father who helps him to open 2 jazz bars. And of course it had to be jazz bars because this is the Murakami thing. Finally, Shimamoto visits him in one of the bars. And this is the moment he is able to get my real attention because he shows feelings finally. Maybe for the wrong person, in the wrong way, because let's don't spoil what he's doing, but we can. I think it's no spoiler if we tell the audience that he shows some feelings, some true feelings, and these passages are written really, really beautiful.
Absolutely. There's one scene, I don't know if I'm spoiling it, or when he finally, or there's one part where he sees her. I think they're out in the streets, and it's like the really time with him that invokes. He's trying to chase her down to see if it's really her. Now, finally, we're kind of getting somewhere. We're getting traction for him, and now that person that he was longing for the longest time as a teen and as a child and all this stuff, and we're finally seeing some emotion out of Hajime now, and that's when it kind of kickstart all this, and then she finally comes in, to his jazz bar and all that stuff, and so I think that's finally the moment where it finally kicks in right there.
Yeah, definitely. How do you like it, the writing style and the passages where he shows some emotions?
I do like it. One of the big things is, I don't mean to go off too much on a tangent. One of the big things I want to do, why I love Murakami so much, I want to open up my own, cafe. And he was a big reason why I wanted to do that. And I think this reason why this book is a big reason why I want to open up my own shop like that. And so with that right there, with that, invoking that, it okay, now a fire is lit in me, and that I guess that's how I'm bridging the 2 gaps right there, why I relate to him or this character so much, because a fire's finally started. Sometimes it takes a minute for me for a fire to start in me. So he's finally trying to. It shows that Hajime is finally trying to strive for something, I guess, and that is her. Yeah, it's finally invoked a fire in him, and he was at this point. It felt like he had direction, even though he had his wife and I think he had 2 little girls, if I remember correctly. Yeah. And then he had his bar, but it seemed like nothing was still good enough for him. He had the lifestyle and he was living above his means as well. So I think he had a decent car, he had a decent home. Yeah. But nothing was good enough for him. And so I kind of, as me, personally, I see how that goes. And so with that, it involved me to get more into the book because I could kind of find how I related to it a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. It somehow made a turn. Just the way he describes all the feelings are so sensitive and intimate, but still full of love, which I'm not used to read of him. I was like, man, this is beautiful. Yeah, this is really, really beautiful. It's some sort of let's say, it felt like the character finally has a relief and can escape from his daily life, which he somehow still enjoys, but his real feelings stick to this character. I'm not sure if we can call it a hook.
If the readers are still there at that point, it's a small little hook for the worm to get onto. Right?
Yeah,
I would say.
If you would need to rate this book, let's say 5 stars.
For myself, like I said, it is one of my favorites right now. I'm on my second read of Hardboiled Wonderland was my favorite for the
Mm-hmm.
longest time. I would give this for myself a four, a
A four.
solid four for myself. I get the sentiments about it 100%. It's not, and it's not a love story either. You know,
Mm.
I don't like you said, we don't want to spoil anything. I definitely don't want to spoil it for readers if they want to read it. I definitely don't want to turn them off either from reading it. But it's not. To me, it's not a love story. It is someone, an individual, finding themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I think that in itself is beautiful, and I think that resonates with me. You know, as a reader and as like me as Leo. So I think taking beauty from things that are all like most American comic books are open ended, and you can take out of it what you want to. And
Mm-hmm.
me able to do that with this one and have more of like a grounded feel to it and something that is, I, somewhat could relate to in a way. I give it a 4 out of 5 because it gravitates towards me. The vintage look of it for the American one is beautiful. I love a lot. So yeah. So it's a 4 out of 5 for me.
Mm-hmm.
I thoroughly enjoy it and I'm grateful for it. It's one of my favorites and I'm in listening to the audiobook right now, and I will say, I get why people you don't care for it as well again because the audiobook, the beginning of it is very it does not it takes a minute. It takes
Mm-hmm.
a minute for it to get to the story as well, and it's one of the things I probably wouldn't rate it as like a big maybe like a 4.5 out of 5. It takes like several chapters for it to get to his what he's doing and what he's actually like having a direction for.
From your perspective, what are the biggest flaws of the book, if you can see flaws?
Yeah, absolutely. And I definitely do. It's the pacing,
Mm-hmm.
is very, like I just said, it's very slow. It's
Mm-hmm.
very slow to get started with. The second read with me was a lot better, but I could understand the sentiments that, the reviews for it wasn't very high for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm currently going through Hardboy Wonderland again. So I think South of Border will be like a monthly read for me, maybe every couple of months to kind of get more. I kind of want to write my own things down about it a little bit more. So,
Beautiful.
yeah, yeah.